What's going on? Yo, YouTube? Book review with Andrew. And we actually do have a book review for you this time. Let's do it. Yeah, that's such a sick solo, man. You know what that's from? That's from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yeah, the old TV show for kids. What went on like a few decades ago, right? They did not phone in these theme songs. I don't know. They really went for it, huh? Absolute chef's kiss. Brilliant. Simply brilliant. And hey, speaking of brilliant, we are reviewing Jorge Luis Borges. Oh yeah, the big one. Mr. JLB himself. And we're not doing the whole collection, but I do plan on finishing the whole thing, probably within a few months. Only Fictiones, which I think, if memory serves me correctly, is his sophomore collection. Yeah, so we have Universal History of Iniquity. That's his first collection. We're not doing that one. And then we have Fictions, 1944. And Oh Baby. Where do we even begin with Borges? And I couldn't. I don't know where to begin, because Borges himself is all about the infinite and labyrinths, and he talks about language and fake history and fake societies is a thing. Borges is a man of his own pen. I mean, we don't have writing like this running around very frequently. I've never read another author like Borges. And I mean that in the best way possible. Borges was the director, I think, at the Library of Argentina. You know, maybe I should research these guys before I go live on YouTube. Yeah, I probably should, but I don't care. So he worked somewhere at a library in Argentina, and it was a really important library. And he read a lot of books. You can Google his recommended reading list. Buddy was an astute scholar, and if that reading list wasn't apparent enough, it's very clearly displayed in his works, yeah. It also has one of, if not my favorite short stories of all time, The Library of Babel. And in this collection, that is on page 112. Right, so we will go there. You know, I should have set that up, maybe have my bookmark where I wanted to go, but you'd be surprised, a lot of this is improvised. Including the yeah, I don't know what guitar solo I'm going to play until I start recording. Maybe I'd take like 5 or 10 seconds to myself and I go, hey, what am I going to do to impress the audience? You gotta get the audience's attention, you know? Content creation 101. Alright, The Library of Babel. I'm going to read a few sentences for you. Here we go. By this art, you may contemplate the variation of the 23 letters. The universe, which others call the library, is composed of an indefinite, perhaps infinite number of hexagonal galleries. In the center of each gallery is a ventilation shaft, bounded by a low railing. And he just goes on. He's someone that reminds me of a writer that soapboxes, because he really will stand and talk about stuff like this, but the language in the prose is so elevated. And I don't know how to describe him, really. You have to read it. If you read him, you know what I'm trying to get at. But if you haven't read Borges, you need to. You really need to. Because Mr. Borges is a gift. Yeah. And there's also some cool stuff in the collection, which I like cool stuff. Guitar solos are cool, and books are cool. But he talks about knife fights, which is... that's pretty badass. And it's in a really well done way. It's not in some sort of cheesy type of corny thing where, hey bud, I don't like the way you're looking at me. And then the other person goes, oh yeah, well, why don't you do something about it? And then the first person says, well, why don't you meet me outside? And they hand him a knife. He goes, yeah, let's go outside. And then they go outside, they knife fight, right? Like, no, it's not written like that. But it is written. They do have a knife fight or two in there. And my rating, of course, Borges, 5 out of 5. Obviously. I don't really have any complaints. I will warn you, if you haven't read him, take time, take breaks. He's very dense. And nothing in this book, to my knowledge, I think, is over 20 pages. Not that, yeah. And then The Maker, I'm looking at some of these short stories. They're only like 1 or 2 pages or so. Read a short story, sit on it, and wait a little bit, and then attack Borges again, would be my advice. But he is incredible. I mean, this is one of those books where when I read it, as I was reading it, I said, this is changing what I think literature can even do. Right? So, on that note, I think I'm done. Go ahead and, let's call it, right? I mean, I've said everything I wanted to say. How do you even talk about Borges? That's the review. The review is, how do I even review them? Yep. Ratings 5 out of 5. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. That way you can help me grow in the channel. I'd appreciate it. And I think that's all I got for y'all. So, until next time, toodles.